quartile of the whole state. And, you know, depending on which particular point you look at, it's anywhere from second to the bottom to 10th from the bottom. But the bottom line is we are near the bottom. That makes it hard for us to recruit and retain the kind of faculty that our students need and deserve. And I'm sure all of us know of faculty members who have left the college for better pay. I certainly know at least 3 full-time people. But those of us who have to recruit part-time faculty know how difficult that is, because our part-time faculty in particular are really not paid well. They can go to Hartnell, they can go to Cabrillo, they can go to Gavilan, they can go to CSUMB, and they can get better compensation. That makes it hard for us to offer the classes that we need in order to serve our students and in order to grow enrollment. So when we fight for these things, we have to resist the message or the narrative that somehow this is selfish or this hurts students. And that, in fact, is the message that the district's representatives and a few of their board members have been communicating. And that is really not fair to the work that you all do, that we all do on behalf of our students.
It is, I think, really important to keep in mind, right, that despite the representations by others, we haven't asked for anything extreme, right? If anything, we've asked for these very moderate improvements that would set the college on a path to a more sustainable future, that would allow us to recruit the faculty who are going to become the favorite instructors. So we've asked for, right, at this point, right, you all know, a 1% increase this year, a 2% increase next year, salary compression that would make our salary schedule look more like other salary schedules, and would acknowledge the reality that in 2017, people don't go to work for one employer for 27 years in order to achieve the top bracket on the salary schedule.
So for community members who may not know this, it takes 27 years to get to the top of your salary schedule.
From step one to the last step.
And so many of our faculty members may not start until their 40s or 50s. They'll never get to the top of that salary schedule,
right,
which will also affect their lifetime retirement.
Yeah. So, you know, we've asked for these very moderate actions to be taken, right? When the district asked for us to reduce the amount of reassigned time, right, we came up with plans that did reduce the amount of reassigned time. It just didn't do it in precisely the prescribed ways that they had asked us to. Right? So we've worked really hard to come up with compromises, and we have not seen the same willingness on their part. Right?
Not only have we not seen a willingness to compromise, we've seen regression. So they began the year by offering a 3-year contract with 2%, 2%, and 2%. In April, they went back to a 1%. In May, they said, well, we can't give full-time even that, but we'll give part-time 1%. And in June, it was 0. It was because of all of you, they came back to the table in June, but they didn't offer us anything. When we met again in August, it was the same thing. Basically, they're offering a 2-year contract with no additional compensation. It doesn't meet any of the needs of the faculty or students. And so that is really disrespectful. It's basically saying that they don't respect the work we do. And in fact, they have said that in so many terms. Their negotiator has said that. He's said that our faculty should just expect to do unpaid work. That there are some, this is a verbatim quote, there are some professions where people are expected to do work and not be compensated, and teaching is one of them. This from a lawyer who bills, presumably, every 15 minutes.
Members of the board have suggested that our faculty work less than other faculty at other community colleges, right? Suggesting that we teach only 3 classes per semester, right? Which I think reflects a fundamental, confusion about the way that the work is done here, right?
Well,
so
we a long thing that straightens it out.
Right? So this idea that we work less is a way of undermining the real work that we do, because in fact, many of us work more, right? Many of us teach more than 5 classes as a way of compensating for the extremely low salaries relative to other colleges.
Question.
Yeah.
Are they still planning to hire a bunch more administrators with the money they should be paying you?
So they have begun that process. They have, correct me if I'm wrong, hired 3 new deans this year, and the support staff for those deans.
And created a new vice presidency.
Who don't teach. None of them teach.
No. So I think what we want to communicate today is that we want a fair contract, and that a fair contract is good for students and it's good for MPC. That when faculty are treated respectfully, and when faculty are happy, that is good for students. That our ability to recruit and retain, that's important for students. That our ability to have good morale is good for students. That
the time set aside to ensure that faculty can provide feedback is good for students, right? The idea that our part-time faculty are not having to immediately pack up their belongings and drive to another campus because they're teaching at 3 or 4 colleges, that's good for our students, right? This is ultimately about what's good for our students, and we have the advantage in this, which is that what is good for our students is what is good for us.
Okay, so we're going to head in. If you would like to share your thoughts, you can sign in. If you would like to just show solidarity, one of our speakers, either Lauren or I, will call on folks who support a fair contract for faculty with increased compensation to stand, and you could do that at that time. All right? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Ellen Hoffa, and I'm going to repeat a little bit about what I said this morning because not everyone had a chance to hear that. So I really encourage the president, the board, and our whole community just to reflect on where we're at. And it wasn't that long ago, 2011, we had difficult times, and the board came to the faculty and we took a 2% voluntary pay cut. You know, the next year, same problem, we did it again. And for years before that, 2008, 2009, 2010, when our salary formula dictated 0%, we accepted that. We didn't read, we didn't show up at meetings like that. We understood. So the fact that people are here now, the fact that people have been coming to meetings, the fact that people are carrying signs, wearing shirts and buttons is unusual at MPC. It's unusual for this union. We have a long history of working collaboratively with our administration to try to solve problems that's in the benefit of everyone. So I don't believe that this situation is good. I don't believe that it certainly has created low morale for employees. I think that leaks into the classroom, and that's not good. Our students deserve a campus where faculty can put 100% of their energy into planning and teaching and not have to worry about these kinds of issues. So my encouragement is that we find a way to offer our faculty a fair and equitable contract that includes additional compensation, because we are in the bottom of the state in compensation. If you believe that we, faculty, deserve a fair and equitable contract with additional compensation, please stand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hoffa. Are there others who would like to address the board?
Yes, my name is Judith Robinson. I'm a student here at MPC. And I'm a disabled person, and I've undergone a lot of hardships. And I came up here to MPC to try to do something different for myself at 54 years old. I'm now 55. I've been here for a year. I have a 3.875 GPA. And I'm working hard, and I love this place. I almost lost my dear mother of 92 years old. Next week, she'll be 92, a few weeks back. And I was almost forced to drop out of school. The reason why I didn't drop out of school was because my teachers made a way for me to stay. My teachers are human. You know, I witnessed these individuals. I know of some that have had to pick up second jobs in order to maintain their homes. And that does take away from their quality of commitment, Not that they're not completely committed to this, but it takes away from the time and the effort that they could be putting in to helping people. They make a difference. They're not just up there separating themselves on a podium, dictating what we're supposed to do. They're hands-on, down and dirty, in the mix, helping us, working with us, encouraging us. You know, and they are MPC. And we can't be here without them. And I know that my experience at MPC, this is my happy place. And it hurts me to see people struggling, just like I have to economically and financially being a disabled person, to see people that in such esteemed positions doing so much good work and not getting their fair share. This school has been allotted money for cost of living increases, and these teachers aren't seeing it. My question is, where is it? What, are you holding on to it for good measure? Give it to them. It's not that big of a deal. If it comes down to it, they're the bridge. They're the bridge. We all have to walk that bridge to get where we want to go. And I'm just asking you to please consider the importance and how hard they work and their commitment to what they do for us. I know I'm a very, very grateful MPC student, and I wear a pin on my coat that says I am MPC, and I'm proud of this place. And I don't want to see my teachers struggle. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm Dr. Dennis Van Dam, an alumnus of MPC and a resident of Seaside. I understand California community colleges, and today's tutorial is on MPC's priorities. So why am I dressed like a gardener today? Because first, there are a lot of weeds on our campus. They have been ignored, for weeds are not a priority. More seriously, faculty salaries have been ignored for 5 years. Why do you pay our faculty so poorly? After I began working in community colleges in 1970, I was repeatedly told that there was no money when I requested funding for worthwhile projects, such as a writing center. I soon realized that this is the biggest lie told in education. MPC faculty have been told repeatedly that there is no money for a raise. However, money has strangely been found to hire administrators, deans, and vice presidents. In addition, board members gave a raise to Dr. Tribely, the man who put MPC onto academic probation. Amazing. So the money question is all about priorities, isn't it? If something is designated a priority, it is funded. If not, too bad. Too bad about those unsightly weeds and that abysmal faculty morale. In fact, you treat faculty like weeds. Even a modest salary request is denied, while nearby colleges like Hartnell, Cabrillo, and Gavilan pay their faculty more than ours. Dr. Tribely, you worked in the apple capital of the world, Wenatchee, Washington. The farmers there carefully nurture their crops to ensure a fine yield. Can't you find it in your heart to cultivate a sense of generosity and respect toward our faculty, to nurture this college instead of destroy it? Our teachers do not deserve the high-handed, arrogant attitude which you and the board members display toward them when they only ask for what they deserve. They are excellent and hard-working. Paying them in the lower 10% of salary among all California community college faculty tells them you think they're in the lower 10% in quality. Is that the message you and the board members want to send to MPC and to our community? MPC is well liked here, but this could change overnight if we continue to walk the tightrope, as the Monterey County Weekly recently suggested. You need to nurture and respect our faculty because the product of our college comes from the teaching and learning in our classrooms. Our teachers' patience, as well as their wallets, are growing thin. As far as the weeding that is needed on our campus, maybe some of our many administrators can pick up a rake. I'll see you next month. My tutorial will be on management styles,
Thank you very
successful
much.
versus unsuccessful.
Dr. Van Dam, thank you.
my name is Cassandra Pimeno, and I'm an MPC student here. And I just wanted to show my support of the faculty, and I wanted to point out that if you basically not to take advantage of our faculty members here, because they go above and beyond. And please don't expect that extra work that they do for us students to go unpaid, because they work very hard. Last spring semester, I had a required class canceled because we didn't meet the student minimum, and there was no other option for me. But I found out that professor actually teaches not only just at MPC, but at Cabrillo and Hartnell. And he's not the only faculty member that will teach at multiple schools. It was hard to email him and ask him questions because he's got multiple classes to take care of. But I mean, I did follow him to Cabrillo because of his passion, how passionate he was about the subject. And it's inspiring. Like, another faculty member I could think of is Dr. Askoff. Not only does he just do his lectures, but he does study sessions, and he records your lectures so you could go back and in case you missed something. Or other faculty members who on Sundays will open up their room so that we can have extra study time. So I would really like them to be treated fairly, especially in this county, in this area specifically, where it's so expensive. And we have a lot of faculty members who just had children. I mean, I can't imagine, what they're going through right now. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Carlos, and I'm a student at MPC, and I live in Salinas, and I came here to support my teachers because they really need a pay raise for the hard work they do, and it's very helpful because they help me a lot through my homework, a lot of the things that I need help with, and they really make me comfortable here. And I met some of my friends throughout here, and I don't really want them to go anywhere else. Like, they usually don't like to struggle with going on the bus and go over here. I don't want them to go to Salinas and try to go to Hartnell and struggle with paying bus for the bus passes and not being able to be able to go home like too early, and because they want to enjoy themselves. I like being around my friends here. The teachers here really want to get a pay raise, and they actually gave you guys really moderate deal, but you guys keep ignoring them. So the thing is, you guys better give in to this idea, because it's much better if you understand their positions, because you guys also have your own families too, to be able to afford your housing and all that stuff. And also housing over here, it's rising because of all the different things that have been changing around over the years. And mostly because this area is a tourist destination, and Monterey gets a lot of its money out of it. And it's very difficult to be able to pay for a house over here. And it's and our teachers really need to get respected a lot. They really just do their job. They don't really need to get paid less for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming to MPC. Thank you for being our student. Yes.
Hello, my name is Diane Cotton. I'm a resident of Seaside. I'm a retired high school guidance counselor from both Monterey High and Seaside High, and in the past, I have encouraged students to come to MPC because I thought that it was a place where those students who had struggled, some in high school, would be able to get the help and be able then to go on to a four-year college. Since that time, things have changed quite a bit. The focus is on directly to a four-year college now from MPC, and the patience with students who are struggling, for instance, if they get a C or a D in a class, they are not allowed to repeat the class. The focus is not on true learning. I came here in 1987 with my ex-husband because of NPC. He was a faculty and member of the administration here. It used to be a community college. And when I think of community, I think of everyone supported. The teachers, the administrators, and the students. And it seems like that has become lopsided. It seems like administrators are increasing, and attention to students and to faculty is less. I looked up a word that I had heard often about community college. It's collegiality. And I found a lot of information on the internet about collegiality. And I just want to read you one teeny paragraph if I have time. It says, collegiality is reflected in the relationships that emerge within departments and between different status of administrators, faculty, students, and other people, staff who work. It is often evidenced in the manner in which members of the department interact with and show respect for one another. I don't think you're showing respect to a very, very important aspect of this school, and that is the faculty. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
I printed out, those of us who wear glasses, sometimes it's easier to find these things. I'm Georgia Van Dam, an adjunct in the Humanities Division. 2 items for your attention, and I know you can take care of them. The first one is the posting of the board agenda takes place online. It's really hard to find the parts that say what's going to be addressed at the meeting. Maybe you can ask IT, is there a way that they can put a dummy button so that those of us who are not really computer proficient can get to the agenda items so that they don't seem like they just spring up out of the blue when we get here. Second item, communication with college personnel and students. There was an announcement that came out at CSUMB, where I teach a class, from the provost who said, I'm going to be holding open hours. And 4 times in the semester, the provost will be sitting in a room in the student center, welcoming people to come in. At MPC, our governing board policies on Chapter 2 ask for study sessions with the college staff, faculty, and members of the public, resulting in participatory decision-making. On the back of this sheet, I printed the pertinent, and I did it in big print, because again, those of us who wear glasses, it's easy. The big print in your own Chapter 2 policy says, study sessions are a useful way to examine new developments and critical issues. Well, we got some critical issues going on now, don't we? Successful implementation of new developments and the resolution of issues are assured with the buy-in and added insights of participatory decision-making. I beg you, make this process participatory, not top-down. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Judy Karras, and I am both a past student who attended MPC in my 20s and later as a re-entry student. And most of our family has had an affiliation with MPC. My mother taught me humanities, was a tenured professor. She did the syllabus for the original English part of the Gen-Train program. And my father, whose picture is on the wall right there, Sam Karras, was on the board of trustees, and he was very instrumental in helping pass the bond measure that passed in the early, I think it was 2001 or 2. And it was that bond measure that passed because of support from the community for what MPC stood for, and the fact that MPC was, and still is, hopefully, a school that offers a lot to members of the community, not just transfer students. And even though I took classes when I was needing to transfer to San Jose State University, I also value the other classes that have been offered to members of the community, older members and people that are attending courses for enrichment and further education. I echo the comments that have been made by the other speakers. I don't want to be redundant. I especially appreciate what Diane Cotton said, and I hope that you will exercise flexibility in creating the budget, and please give the teachers what they are due. I really feel that this is an issue that if my mother were still here and my father, I'm sure they would be echoing comments that are made by the teachers that are here for a fair and equitable budget process, and for them to have the value that they deserve as teachers here. The relationship, the central relationship is students and teachers. That's the core of MPC, and teachers have to feel valued. So please support them. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Wizard. I'm an alumnus and a successful transfer student. The issue here to me sounds like money, and I can't believe that teachers here survive on so little. Having to work at several different places to pay the bills, we expect that of people who yet don't have an education, or young people, not people with graduate degrees. And there's a lot of time between now and November, and you have to believe that with this much lead time, you will find yourselves not reelected, because people are very upset about what's happening. Dr. Trively has already tried to leave and find another job because he knows that the tide will change soon, and with 2 new members on the board, it won't be hard to find a majority and replace the president. This school traditionally teaches blue-collar workers. It teaches people to be cops and firefighters and nurses, and all of those jobs here locally pay more than having a graduate degree and teaching people how to do those jobs. Additionally, Sergeant, a badge in this community does not pay more than a doctorate. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to make a public comment at this time?
Hi, Board. My name is Beverly Bean. I spent many happy years as a student at MPC, and I had wonderful teachers. Some of them are retired now. David Clemens, Walter White. Anita Johnson is still here, and I could go on and on. I am here to tell you that you need to support your faculty. How do you expect to get replacements for these wonderful faculty members when your pay is so low, your faculty is so demoralized by the way you treat them, and the students are the victims of your bad judgments? Since Dr. Trively has been here, the faculty has been out of contract. Do you think that's a good accomplishment? You think squeezing them for every last penny is the way that you do your jobs? I find it appalling that you have the money to hire deans, vice presidents, all kinds of adjunct administrators, none of whom spend a day teaching the students, which is your mission. You need to rethink what you're here for, because I will help to get you unelected if you cannot see that you're destroying MPC. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Kathleen Rosman, instructor, learning specialist here. And I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to plead. I'm so tired. And I hope that eventually I never have to attend another board meeting. What's happening here is just plain wrong. And yeah, Mayor, it's wrong, okay? The fact that faculty have not had more than a 1% raise in 10 years, we haven't had a contract in 4.5 years, yeah, that's the truth. And we want accountability. That's what all of this was about, changing shared governance to participatory governance, so the right people will be held accountable. I'm not seeing it. And yeah, hopefully people will vote when new board members come up for re-election, and then there'll be some accountability. Thank you.
White. I'm a Salinas resident. I came back here in May, I think. Saw you guys over at the Marina one. And I gotta say, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed that nothing really has happened. And I say disappointed, you're still giving me a smile. It's like, wow. But, you know, it is disappointing because they've been asking, planning, we're trying to be cooperative and name it concessions, and you don't do anything, you bloviate the other way. How can this power struggle be? I don't get it. This is a learning institution. This is supposed to be about the students are your end result, and you know your teachers are the direct path for that. And you're not taking care of them, you're not taking care of the students. It needs to stop. You need to take care of these people. They are your worker bees, and they're more important than you are, I would say.
Public comment? Anyone else?
Hi there, my name is Sunny Fawcett, and I've been at the college several times over the years, and I know a lot of the people that have spoken today, and you must feel their frustrations for what the situation is. I mean, it seems like it's pretty self-explanatory. So now that you know all of that, I'd like to hear from each one of the members to see what you can do to make things better. It's really simple. It's a lot simpler than, you know, people make it. So could you start maybe?
We invite you to stay for the meeting, and that's when we address the business of the college and we address the agenda items.
Well, we'd like to hear from you now. I mean, if you guys could each give. And the budget, it's like, what's happening with the budget? It seems like if you look at the budget and you try to be fair to see where the funds go and for what the purposes are, I mean, it should be pretty simple. It doesn't have to be really complicated. So would you maybe start?
No, I'm sorry.
We're not asking. That's asking somebody.
President of the board, and she
Okay,
has a
but
decision.
you know, we're still waiting to hear an answer. I think we have a right as a public to hear from everyone. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Would anyone here like to hear them? I mean, you know, that's what we're here for.
This is the time for public comment. This is
We
the
are the
time
public.
we listen to
We
you.
are the public, and we also would like to have a response. I mean, we could do it all at the same time. Otherwise, it just goes from one meeting to another, and it just gets put on the back burner. I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense to waste. We're all here just to help each other. That's the only purpose, you know, for our lives. I mean, when you look back, are you going to say that you hurt more people or helped more people? Isn't that true? I mean, do you all agree? And anyone that has children, like you heard the little one back there, and all of you, you know, that do, you know what it's like to try to make a living and try to make ends meet and stuff. So it's really important to try to do as much good as you can for as many people as you can. Do you agree or not? Yes?
I agree with that.
Thank you. Okay, well, so nobody else wants to say anything? Is there a letter or something that you guys could write and maybe address it and put it on the library board or something? Bulletin boards? I mean, that would be helpful too. And if you have suggestions too, that would be good too. And I do have one suggestion I want to emphasize, speaking of saving money. These self-flushing toilets are such a waste of, I mean, you're done with your business and they keep flushing and flushing and flushing. That's really crazy. And I don't know how many gallons of water that uses up, but maybe we could do something in that department to save some money and also to grow more trees because we really need that as well to survive. All right, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jake Mormon. I'm a student veteran here. And I'd like to say thank you for your son's service and go Navy beat Army.
Didn't
that?
Took us 13 years.
Yeah, quite a bit of time. I didn't plan on speaking. I just felt moved by the others' comments, and I wanted to get up and just share a little experience that I had. I suffer from traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. The ARC Resource Center is an amazing asset and resource that we as students have, as well as the Vet Center. They help us in numerous ways. And the faculty, I've found, This is my third semester, fourth with summer. I found have been so understanding and so willing to try to help me as a veteran translate my military skills into life skills and skills that I can use in the classroom. I think it's wonderful that you guys are using the local high schools to get a tech tunnel built towards MPC, and I think that's great. But when I go into class and I see Tom Rebold or DJ Singh, and I didn't even know the stories about how long they've been out of contract, how long they've been not receiving even cost of living adjustments, it's very disheartening. I'd really like to mention a couple professors in particular, Professor Stanica in the math department, Dr. Philly, Kevin Bransfield. I can sit around with that guy and just hug and cry and, gentle hugs with Kevin. But you can just sit around and talk to him, and then he'll put you in touch with other veterans to, share their experience. Or I got a scout sniper in my photography class, and he's going through a lot of the same things I am. He's not as high functioning as I am, and he is, just in the first half of this semester, this first 8 weeks, he's blossomed, and he comes in and he's telling stories and interacting with other students, and I really think that's a credit to your faculty. Not to mention that a lot of these teachers will stay after to repeat some of what the other speakers already said, but you guys, I feel, are morally obligated to come to the table in good faith and show them how they are appreciated. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rebecca Lipson. I'm a student here at MPC. I started in 2013 with one class in early childhood because I was a really terrible student my whole life and struggled in school. We didn't know I had a brain injury. I didn't discover that until I got, I guess, about 5 years ago when I saw the football special on brain injuries and realized that when I fell out of the car at 2.5, that's it, from a moving car on my head, that's what happened to me, and that's why I struggled so much. Kathleen is my teacher, Rosman, and she does everything she can to make things make sense for people like me. And there are so many of us in those classes. I'm making A's and B's. I never made A's in my life, or B's. I was mostly a C, D, F student, and failed 2 years. And I love this school with all my heart. It's changed my life. I started at 60, and it's slow going, and I want to get my degree in early childhood. And when I see what's happening in the school systems, just generally speaking, I was a teacher's aide in Fort Worth in 72, 73, for about 25 years, and my pay was $650 a month, and I worked at Walmart at night. And I quit the school system after 25 years because they weren't going to fund. I had a computer program, the first IBM Writing to Read program that came into the schools in Fort Worth, and they weren't going to fund that anymore. And I went to find another job because I knew they weren't going to fund what I had been doing. And I just see things deteriorating all around me when it comes to education. And my goal is to work with young children and educate them and help them understand what's really important. And that's what we're all talking about here to you now, is what's really, really important. And the fact that I could be successful in school not only blows my mind, but my father, who will be 96 at Christmas, just can't wait to see my report card when I go back to Texas, because he can't believe that I'm making A's and B's. And so I'll just continue. I didn't know anything about the politics here because I was so nervous about school and so trying to get myself together to just succeed, and it's hard. The classes are hard. I have one more early childhood class to go, and I avoided the math until the end, and I do have to face that, but I'm almost done. And I just think these teachers have been over backwards, and every teacher I've had, whether it was gender studies, it didn't matter. All my English classes, everybody here is phenomenal. And that needs to be respected and taken care of. And I guess that's all. I think I've probably taken too long, but it's been a great opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you for being our speaker.